All right, let's do it.
Oh wait, I don't have my light. I'm the one saying light this time. I'm usually like, "Where's your light?" And this time, it me.
It you.
You're the worst.
Wait, is this 592 or 593? Shit.
590. Sure, let's go with 592. Why would it be anything else?
Oh, that's cool. Now I get a little in the. I don't have to guess what the episode title number is anymore. I get it right there in the corner with my YouTube statistics.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, last week was 591. Cool. We're so fucking good at this.
Let me see. Why did it just jump to...
All right, now we can time out people for different amounts of time. Hooray. Thanks, YouTube, for giving us features.
Hey, that's not bad. Hell yeah, man. Fucking nailed it. 592. Not bad. Boom.
Stop
Go me.
Playing now.
What?
We were playing on top of ourselves because this didn't want to stop.
Play on top of myself all the time.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
I think you're talking about masturbation.
No, I'm talking about my laptop.
Oh.
Yeah. Masturbating with my laptop.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should wear my hat like Robert Duvall. Just kinda...
You can't. It's impossible. If you have a hat that fits, you can't wear it like that.
Every once in a while, you have to masturbate with your lap bottom.
Yeah, let's switch it up.
Yeah.
Good little, you know.
You got to make the hand fall asleep, too.
Yeah, that's...
Get the stranger.
Oh, the old European laptop.
Oh. Hey, thanks, YouTube. Got it. Top chat. Hey, Kyle's here.
Oh, there's
Live
Kyle.
chat. All right.
Hello, Kyle.
Should show my sentinel. Is it live?
Come on,
Boy,
let's get hairy.
I need to...
I don't know. It sounds like a show tune. Come on, let's get hairy.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Oh, I get it.
Fucked up zombie Professor X.
It won't be too scary.
And we all go to
Normal.
get hairy.
Look at that. It would not focus on Professor X.
Everyone will get
Here's half-ass.
married.
Here's normal-ass Professor X. But yeah, this one will be fun to paint. Use up a lot of silver primer. And then basically put this same purple color back on it.
Right. Or you could spend 6 weeks masking parts off and then just...
That looks sort of
spray
pink
myself.
from here, but
Yeah.
sort of
I mean, he's a purplish reddish.
purplish pinkish. Yeah.
He's going to blast you.
I'm saying he looks a little more pink than what I would consider Sentinel purple.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably part of the... everything's color coded for people
Actually, that would
don't
be a
do the
good
painting.
color for like inside joints, like
Yeah.
the dark purple on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of silver though too.
Well, I got 3 of these to paint, so should be fun. Standing on rubble. What is that? It looks like part of like a, like it was part of like a Ferris wheel seat or something
laying on the
down
ground?
there. Yeah. What do you think? What's your opinion on that?
Maybe he's had some madness in Murder World.
Well, how big is he supposed to be? Is that supposed to be to scale?
I guess.
Maybe,
I mean, I think they're supposed to be a little bigger than this, but not much. No, actually, that probably is about the right size.
damn, those things are huge.
What, Sentinels?
Yeah. If that's to scale, then...
Yeah. Yeah, you got a
Those things are
person.
fucking huge, yeah.
Realize he's also sitting down.
Yeah. So yeah, you're looking about 20 feet tall.
Yeah.
I think they're close.
It's about
like,
3 humans tall.
I don't know. It depends on like the storyline, how they're deciding to.
Are you saying that a robot that's 20 feet tall is not fucking huge?
It's pretty big.
It's pretty big. Yeah.
It's like a Smurf. You measure it in apples.
I think they also have like marks, so sort of like the Iron Man suits. So there's different models of them.
Oh, is that what each or all of the Iron Man suits named Mark?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. They're like, hey, Mark. Hi, Mark.
It's got to be
Marcus.
confusing.
He's like, oh, hi, Mark.
God, I don't even know what the comic would be up to.
Hi, doggy.
Yeah.
People have actually like categorized what the what the MCU versions were. Because I want to say he was at like 32 by the time they get to Endgame.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Shit, I think it's like. Fuck, I should know that. It's like 35.
Yeah.
I feel like 35 popped in my head for what the in-game Tech one was. I know there's like.
I vaguely remember him saying a number at some point, but
Did the one he built in the cave with scraps? Was that Mark 1?
Yes, that is the Mark 1 Iron Man.
I'm glad he kept that part of the nomenclature.
Yeah, the Mark 2 would be the unpainted silver one he made at home.
Mm-hmm.
Mark 3, I think, was the first like formal like I'm going to go
why
be a
not like
superhero.
Matt or Luke or John?
I don't know.
John 1,
Mhm.
John 2,
John
John
Diss.
3,
Ephesians.
John 3:16. For Tony Stark so loved the world that he gave his only begotten life.
Oh God! Spoiler alert.
Oh, I mean, sorry. I thought we all knew this now at this point. But yeah. I mean,
No,
also
there's
spoilers.
there's one person
Spoilers
out
I
there that
remember-
happens to be tuning
that I
into our
remember
podcast.
John 3:16. I mean, who doesn't? Yeah.
No, spoiler
Well, I
alert.
mean, I
for-
guess there's probably plenty of people that don't like. Nobody.
no, I
like,
meant the Tony Stark part.
Oh, lots of people that don't know John 3:16. It's like they didn't go to Sunday school.
They also
weren't-
didn't go
weren't
to
indoctrinated.
Monday school.
Ah.
Damn.
Like Monday Night Raw.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were just making fun of the less educated.
No. No, I was
I was
making
like, fuck, dropouts on notice.
well, also yes, fuck dropouts. They're on notice.
I think I
Really,
was.
I
I,
don't
think
care.
I told you I was with Tommy going down the road. There was one of the overpass people with the signs like honk it, Jesus loves you or whatever. But this guy just had one that just said 3:16, and I was like, oh, he's a big wrestling fan. I'm just going on the just offhandedly.
That's the correct response. Then.
Yeah.
Like what else would you say? Put these away, and then I'll do
Yes. Put your toys away.
I'm working on it.
It's time to work.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it?
I think it's time to get Harry.
Already done.
Oh,
Get Harold.
get
It's
the
called
Herald.
Pursuit, not Herald.
Could you be a hirsute Herald? Would you be like really
I guess.
Harry Herald?
Harold.
Only if you're a Henderson.
Harold Henderson.
Frienderson of the Hendersons.
Fuck you. I'm leaving.
No, I just
That's the one that makes you leave.
I just realized, like, I now want to start a Harry and the Hendersons fan club and just call it the Friendersons. Just
Well,
for
you're
no reason. Like,
30 years too
I,
late, but
I
sure.
don't care. If there isn't one already, I'm starting it. I should probably watch. Is that got John Lithgow in it? I think it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a really long time since I've seen that.
That's going to be the new podcast. It's called
just-
Friendersons. We're going to watch Harry and the Hendersons every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to find a new reason for it existing.
Mhm.
We should just alternate all the forgotten 80s classics, like Batteries Not Included.
Yeah.
Harry and the
Oh,
Hendersons. The Indian in the Cupboard. That might be 90s, actually.
It was 90s.
Yeah, but I don't know. Cupboard is always like, I always want to say cupboard because that's what it looks like.
Cupboard.
But yeah, I know it's everyone says cupboard and that's what you say. But
The one I really feel that like vanished that I feel was way, way, way big in the 80s was Short Circuit.
sure.
Like-
Did it vanish?
It got a sequel, so I mean that's pretty
It
big.
did, but like right nowadays,
Yeah.
like ask a millennial about Short Circuit,
Yeah.
and they will have
say number
idea.
5 is alive, and they're
Yeah.
like, what?
Like no idea whatsoever.
Maybe.
And I mean,
maybe
it's not like
just
I
the people
blame
that-
them. It's just
Yeah.
like it was one of those movies that was like super popular, and then now nothing.
Maybe it's just the people that I know, but I feel like there's good short circuit representation amongst people that I know.
Well, that's good then. You've chosen the right people.
Well, yeah.
Are we doing this?
My ears were colder than usual.
I can do you one better.
Oh, you're gonna big time me with old fucking. You got two hoods.
Double hooded it today.
Got 2 hoods,
I
and you're big timing me
I
with
didn't
them.
plan it that right.
With both of them. I just wanted to have one thing. With one,
You've got it. What's going on?
What are we?
Oh, when you put your for some reason when you put your jacket on, it like blasted out your color, like you're like super
Yeah,
bright right
fucking
now.
blast out
it
my
was
color.
Overcompensating for
Yeah.
him.
I was just trying to have the
Turning
camera
dark.
reset, but it didn't.
Trying to hide my shame from being too hooded by Mackie over here.
I just thought maybe the camera would reset, but it
Like,
didn't.
oh, I could.
I could be like Roddy Piper in that one movie where he takes off the sunglasses. He's got the sunglasses underneath. And then he takes those off and he's got the face paint. Yeah, that's how you do it.
I did have 2. I went to a football game a couple Mondays ago, and I had my thin Jaguar shirt, which for some reason has a hood, even though it's like the thinnest material that's ever been manufactured by man. And then this hoodie, so I did have 2 hoods then, but I didn't big time anybody with it. Didn't fucking one up anybody.
Whenever you have the opportunity to big time, you take it
I guess so.
because you don't know when it's coming back.
I suppose.
Throw your hoods in the air like you don't care.
So,
Yeah, let's make
Nice
podcast
hat.
talk.
thanks. Do you have the same hat?
No,
Oh, okay.
I just like it.
And I got my Jag shoes on.
Oh, you got your Jag shoes on too. Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
Look at you. You're all jagged up today.
I am.
You're
I'm
a jag on.
Jag off. There it is.
You're a jag on.
There you go. It even has the logo on it.
Let me get a look at them kicks.
Don't smell them.
I'm not going to, I
too
promise you.
harshly.
That's pretty fucking sharp, actually.
Yeah,
Gold laces.
I have. Yeah, and I've
And they're
got
light?
I've got the Jordans that are Jags colors, and I wear these like 10 times more often
Yeah.
because they're also significantly more comfortable. Who would
Those
have
are-
guessed that we would have figured out how to make comfortable shoes since 1988?
Can't believe it.
Yep. But the Jordans are pretty fucking sweet, though. But these are better.
Yeah, I didn't need to put my nose up to them. I can fucking smell them from here.
That's why I put it back on my foot.
Yeah, thank
so you
fuck.
don't have to. I warned you.
I can smell your jags from here.
Those dogs are barking,
Yeah.
as they say.
Which is weird because these are like ventilated too. I don't know why. Who knows? That's life, man.
That is life.
Oh my God, Kyle's big time in all of us. He's got 3 hoods.
Kyle also lives in like Siberia.
He's got 3 hoods
American
and a
Siberia.
turtleneck.
American Siberia. I'm writing that movie.
All right,
Let's light this candle.
let's do it. It's 9:03.
Oh my God.
It's time to party. We started a little late. Movie's a little longer than normal.
All right,
It happens.
let's get this clap thing mechanism ready. Do it right this time.
Yeah, do it for Boston.
All right, welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey,
Hey.
BMFcast.
BMFcast.
Episode 592.
Check us out.
Goodness
Yeah.
gracious.
Numbers keep going up. So I'm Harlow,
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
and what we do each and every episode of this here Bad Movie Fiends podcast is we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. You know, so that's the name. So then we talk about them for a while, usually kind of recapping the plot. And then they get ratings. Good bad movies. Enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks and robot jocks.
Oh, we liked Robot Jocks.
See, Robot Jocks
Quite a
is
bit.
a good, great
Yeah,
bad movie.
it's pretty good.
Right.
However, there are just straight bad movies. As in Stay Away, they get a negative sliding scale 1 to 5 bags, as in giant bags of trash.
Yeah,
Toss them.
we don't like them.
So, some 592 odd episodes, plus some things that aren't numbered properly and whatnot. And I think we find ourselves with something new. Somehow.
Yeah?
Do we?
I believe this is the first official movie that we've watched that is credited to Alan Smithy.
I asked Chuck.
Uh-huh.
This is our second.
Second.
Oh my God.
Maniac Cop 3.
We watched 3? I thought we only watched
Wait, was
two.
that extra or?
It might have been extra.
Okay,
Okay.
so that doesn't count. Y'all
I
are
don't-
always.
I was not there for whenever you
mean-
guys watched it.
I mean, I
so-
know we did 1 and 2, and
Yeah.
like 2 was great. I don't remember.
Yeah, 2's awesome.
Yeah.
But 3 was also Alan Smith.
Okay. All right. Well,
But
I
we are-
sit corrected, perhaps.
unless it's extra, and then you were 100% right.
Well,
because
I
those
was also
don't
there,
count.
so I'm still wrong. So
Yeah.
Episode 509,
That's it, Jan.
Maniac Cop 3, Yeet and Skeet.
That's a good title.
It's a very good title.
Yeet, skeet, Jesus Christ. Don't even want to know.
All
But
right,
yes,
well, okay, so never
this is
mind.
an Alan Smithy movie by.
It's a thing we haven't seen for some 70-something episodes. 80, I can do math
Yeah.
sometimes. Anyway, yes, it's an Alan Smithy movie. Actually, truly directed by Stuart Rosenberg,
Correct.
Yes.
who most famously directed Cool Hand Luke.
Yep.
Yes. There was a little
Wild.
tiff in post-production about some reshoots. It's a tale as old as time, and especially one that we hear about these days. Tiff about reshoots, and Dan Harmon, who is not the star. Is that his name, Dan Harmon?
Dan Harmon made Community and
Right.
Rick and Morty.
This is Mark
Yeah,
Harmon.
This is Mark Harmon.
Mark
his,
Harmon, yeah.
his
Yeah,
cousin.
have we said the name?
No, we haven't actually. It's
shit.
Let's Get Harry from 1986. Yeah. Anyway, but yes, Mark
Yeah.
Harmon, not Dan Harmon.
Dan Harmon's brother-in-law, Mark.
Sure. believe he is actually related
Dan
to
Harmon's-
Angie Harmon, but not Mark or Dan Harmon, as far as I know.
Dan Harmon's sexy, sexy dad.
All right.
Mark Harmon.
So, speaking of sexy, I believe during like either production or post-production, he was actually awarded like sexiest man alive, and so the TriStar Pictures wanted to make him a bigger feature
I see.
in this film, so they did some reshoots and some recuts.
Which led to the Alan Smithying.
And
of this
Stu
film.
said, "Fuck this, you prick-ass studio
You
executives."
have ruined the integrity of
Yeah.
my 80s
Action
movie.
movie centered around cocaine and pipe workers.
It's a good strip club name.
Cocaine and pipe workers.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm not putting my name on this. Thou canst go fuck thyself.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Other than that, little bit of trivia. We should probably talk about some people that are in this, because there are some people in this movie. Man,
Dan Harmon's sexy dad, Mark
Mark
Harmon.
Harmon.
Yes.
Yes.
that
First on
apple
the
fell
list.
really far from that tree. Yes,
Let's.
Mark Harmon is in this. Yes,
He is.
Rob-
He is the Harry. He's the titular Harry,
He-
though he's really not that much of a character.
right.
They
he's-
check back in on him a few
He's
times.
supposed to be sort of a MacGuffin, which is I believe there's a Hitchcock movie with Harry in the title, and he loved MacGuffins anyway. But yes, I digress. Also, we have I guess we'll start with the biggest people, and then we'll get to actually the people that are probably in the movie more.
like Glenn Fry.
I was going to say like Robert Duvall is in this.
Oh, yeah, him too.
And
Wait a minute. Did you say Glenn Fry, a.k.a. Eagle?
Yes,
Yeah.
Eagle Glenn Fry.
Is he take credit as singular eagle?
I'm sorry, it's Eagles. On IMDb, he is listed as also known as Eagles. Not the Eagles, just
Okay.
Eagles.
That's when you get the fun quirks of like their system being like, well, if they're credited for the music, they need to be credited as the Eagles,
Right.
and so they're like Glenn Fry
Eagles.
doing business as
DBA.
Eagles.
Eagles LLC.
Well, yeah, Eagle. Like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Oh, the Eagles is definitely...
Oh, they're
the
you want,
biggest-
You
They
want
might
the
be in-
most limited.
We might get a
liability.
copyright strike just for mentioning their name. They're the biggest
Eagles, yeah.
assholes on YouTube.
Oh, then I should probably not make all the jokes I was gonna make.
No, go ahead and make them.
okay.
Make
we
'em.
don't give a shit about this
Yeah,
channel.
it's not like
Great.
we're monetized anymore.
Yeah. We'll just start a new one. Our 3 fans will follow us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kyle will be there. Thanks,
Anyway,
Kyle.
we'll start with like the most prominent people, I suppose. Like
Okay.
Robert Duvall is in this movie. Gerald Busey is in this. Then I guess we go down from there.
Yeah.
Then we got Tom Wilson, aka Biff from
Yeah, Biff Tannen.
Back to the Futures. Let's see.
Rick Rossovich.
Rick Rossovich.
Of Top Gun fame.
Yeah, Slider. I remember what his
Oh,
fucking handle
yeah.
was. Slider Man, you stink. Yeah. Let's see who else. Oh, there's the 16 Candles guy who looks a lot like Matt Dillon, but it's not
Yeah.
Matt Dillon.
Yeah, that guy was Jake.
Yeah, I don't know his actual.
I think that's his real name's Michael Scheffling.
All right,
Yeah.
Sure. Why
Let's
not?
go with that.
and then Glenn Fry kind of rounds out the little posse, kind of the main posse anyway.
Also, sort of. I mean, Elpidia Carrillo from Predator. Basically, almost kind of like the same character as Predator. It sure feels like.
Her character's not exactly.
But a year before,
not very well defined in this. I mean, it's like, I don't know if she was. I don't know. There's a lot of plot holes in this movie, most likely due to the reshoots and cutting around things and trying to shorten or whatever they did to this movie in post production.
Yeah, but she showed up, and both Harlow and I were like, "Is that the chick from Predator?"
Yeah, it was like took me like 2 seconds before I was like, she didn't really have to talk. I was just like, I've seen Predator that many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of like other people that will like show up and you'll be like, oh hey you.
Deep Throat from the X-Files shows up as, of course, a government agent.
Yeah,
because I think that guy was destined to be government agents his entire life.
And the embassy or CIA guy, whatever, that they send in to pick him up the first time is he looks sort of like Gomez Adams, but it's not Gomez Adams. It's just he's that guy you see in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the plot. Honestly, I kind of love the idea of the plot, especially for an 80s movie.
Sure.
Where it's, so this guy, Harry, has been kidnapped by the cartel.
By the Hendersons.
Yes. Yeah. Harry has been kidnapped by cartel people along with some kind of U.S. diplomat. He was working in Colombia on a dam or
hydroelectric dam.
Yeah, a dam. And
their jobs and what their job description and everything in this movie is very confusing because throughout this movie they identify themselves as plumbers.
Yes.
Harry included. What a plumber, an actual plumber, would need to be sent to Colombia to work on. I don't know.
Yeah, it's clear he's some kind of engineer for it. That's all we know because he's been on a 6-month contract, and of course he's going back tomorrow. However, kidnapped by the cartel, government's like, hey, we don't deal with terrorists, we don't negotiate.
Also, this is just a low rent diplomat and
he's an ambassador of some sort, and they're like, we just don't really give a shit about this guy.
Yeah, we can't start an international incident.
Or Harry.
But apparently, like, Harry is like the Michael Jordan of this town. Because, I mean, like,
it's Aurora, Illinois. They don't have much.
They are so pumped
I don't know
that Harry's going to be back. Well, he is Dan Harmon's sexy dad. So, yes. Why wouldn't they?
I mean, maybe it's more like Kawhi Leonard or someone who gives lots of things away and does good things for the people. But I'm just saying, like, a beloved person who, like, everyone owes some.
Everyone in this town loves Harry.
Yeah,
that's
owe
all
him
we
in
know.
Some way,
yeah, everyone loves him, and he's supposed to come back that day. And then the dad gets the call from the government that says, "Hey, Harry was kidnapped. They're not going to get him."
Yeah, it's like his sad welcome home banners there. And Dad's just sitting there like drinking in the dark, like Harry's been kidnapped.
Yeah, and then just berating not berating, but like passive aggressively berating the younger son. He'd be like, "Well, if Harry's here, he'd know what to do."
Well, this was after, so they immediately montage into like him and Tom Wilson are like, we're flying to D.C. and we're going to talk to people in charge and get some answers.
Yeah,
and they montage their way through D.C. till they end up in Deep Throat's office. And that sounds weird, but the X-Files guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he kind of gives them the story. It's like, look, kids, like, I'm going to level with you. Like, nobody involved in this is important enough for us to risk anything. You should just go home. Sorry, it is what it is. And when he comes home, and that's when the dad gives him like, hello, stomach. When he comes home, his dad's like, well, Harry wouldn't have taken no for an answer. This is when he kind of gives him like the wrong kid got kidnapped speech.
Yeah.
I mean, all but saying that. I mean, it's just like, Harry would have not taken no for an answer. He would have gone down and gotten you somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then some indeterminate time passes. I don't know, because it seems like
it's not long.
It seems like it was Christmas, and then there's like maybe Happy New Year's things up. I don't know. So.
No, I think it was Christmas because I want to say they had a week deadline.
Okay.
Like as in a WEEK, not a week.
Right, I understand.
Limp deadline, but
a bare naked deadline.
A half a fortnight.
Yeah, they have a deadline of a week. So I honestly think like it's within like a day or so. But either way, like it's Christmas. That's why Chuck picked this movie.
Sure.
It's Christmas.
It is Let's Get Harry is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way.
I can argue against it if you'd like for the drama.
No, because I would agree with you.
Okay.
Because Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie either, so fuck off
Well,
with it.
We won't rehash this, but
I know.
Let's Get Harry has nothing to do with Christmas.
It just has a Christmas setting.
It has one Christmas tree.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does have one Christmas tree. But anyway, he basically hatches the plan while they're trying to watch some Sunday afternoon football. He gets pissed. He's like, "What the fuck are you guys doing? You're watching football." And they're like, "What do you want us to do?" And this is when we get the, "Hey, man, if it was one of us, Harry would do it. We need to go down there. Let's get Harry."
Which is the title of the movie.
Which is the title of the movie. And then we're all like, and then they're all like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "Yeah, we hire some mercs or something, and we go down there and we get him."
Yeah, their first idea is to basically have the Deadpool 2 superhero tryouts. I mean, they
Yeah.
basically like have a casting table in a garage, and they open up the garage door, and like random freaks come. Actually, the first guy seems like he might be okay. Like it's, he's a little out there because he's like, "I don't have a name, just call me Rambo." And as he takes off he has like a sort of like a cloak on, I guess you would say. He kind of like loses the cloak, and he's got like a karate gi and headband and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, and then there's another guy who just seems to be just a knives expert.
Mm-hmm.
He loves throwing knives.
Seems like that guy might have been okay too, especially compared to what they were bringing to the table.
Except I think he cut his hand when he was doing the butterfly knife flip because like he does that and then he kind of like licks his hand kind of subtly after that.
Maybe. Okay. Yeah. Sure. But yes,
and then there's one guy who just has a bottle of pills and a flask, and he just starts shoving the pills in and sipping the flask.
Yeah. Then he finishes it with it's for the potential malaria where we're going, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like a Far Cry game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look out, eagles.
Yeah.
Are in this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Then eventually.
Yeah. There's talking about like weird like, oh hey, it's that guy. The very last guy. I don't know if it was implied that the character in the movie had no arms, that he had like blown them off, or if the guy was just sitting really weird with his arm, so that it looked like he had no arms.
Yeah.
But that actor in that weird little bit part was the guy I'm pretty sure was the guy who was Napoleon in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, okay.
I'm
weird.
Almost positive, but I didn't look it up. This is my 80s brain doing the work for me. Anywho, but yeah, it's just they go like, it starts off with like a couple people who might be okay, down to like drug addict, and then possibly a guy with no arms, and then they're like, well, that was kind of useless, and that's when Robert Duvall comes in from like out of the shadows, like
yeah.
And it almost feels like a police squad line, because they're like, how did you get in here? And he's like, well, in this situation, I used the door. And it's like, that's not what you meant. Like the door was open over here. You came from back behind us. Anyway, but yes, his qualifications are that he's got a Congressional Medal of Honor.
Yeah, he's got a.
I mean, he just carries that around. I mean, it's like that's his resume, and I suppose fair. I don't know anyone that has one, so maybe that is just it's like when you have an Oscar, you're like, we'd like you to come in and audition, and you just go clunk, and it's like, he says no. Yeah, but I don't know. But yeah, he's just like, we're gonna do this, and you need to be all in. And
you were right; it was Napoleon.
Yeah, I know, it's weird, dumb shit.
Well done,
Terry Camilleri. Anyway, sorry, but yeah, Robert Duvall basically convinces them by sheer power of being Robert Duvall.
Mm-hmm. Oh, who's also like he's completely shaved his head in this one. Like, I mean, not like just like, he was kind of shaved head in like Apocalypse Now. I mean, like,
he's got a goatee. Honestly, he looks pretty badass.
He does.
Like, he's kind of awesome throughout this entire movie.
He's got that like Ben Kingsley sexy beast. Like, it's like he's a slightly older guy that I still would not fuck with. Like, it's like, absolutely.
And he's a little bit thin.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest problem, though, is this fucking dude does not know how to wear a hat. Like, it's 2 sizes too small for his head, so it stays perched atop his head, unlike any other person.
Come off.
He has a Yankees cap that wears more like a yarmulke. It's just like
kinda.
It's weird.
It is really weird, but I love it because every scene is like, what is with his hat?
Yeah,
and it's like, don't ask questions about Duvall's hat.
It's a it's a character quirk, and I wouldn't be surprised if Duvall chose that himself. Apparently, he did a bunch of research on mercenary dudes, and weird.
Yeah. But apparently he imitated the one mercenary dude that he trained with for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. A whole lot, I guess.
Yeah.
But
hey, whatever works, though.
right.
Yeah. So they're like, all right, this is the guy. But and keep in mind, the crew right now is Biff Tannen, the brother, Rick Rossovich,
and Glenn Fry.
and Glenn Fry.
Yeah.
Also, Glenn Fry has a cocaine problem. Just tossing it out there, going to Columbia.
Also, his character has a cocaine problem in this movie.
Yes. To clarify, before you get litigious, Glenn Fry.
I'm just
Your
daring the
character-
Eagles to sue me into the ground.
Yeah. No, Glenn Fry's character, Spence, he likes the booger sugar. What can I say?
Kept us in suspense.
I was trying to figure out which term to go with. And,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So it's the four of them right now, and Rick Rossovich is never entirely in on it.
But he also seems to be the only one who has any like actual ties. Like he actually actually has family ties.
Yeah, because I
We're
mean,
going full 80s with Harry and the Henderson family ties.
yeah, because younger brother, I mean, he's got a dad who fucking hates him because he's not Mark Harmon, this world's sexiest man.
It's true. I mean,
Yeah, he's like, you're Corey. But
yeah, I just thought he was like fake Matt Dillon. So you
Yeah.
know, like
not even that.
yeah, like Kevin Dillon.
There are worse fates.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but yes, but none of them really have anything to live for except working at a factory and broing out. But still, it's like, you know, you guys are former coworkers, and if someone was like, "Hey, Harlow got kidnapped by drug lords in Colombia," I'd be like, "Oh man, I really liked that guy," and that would probably be the extent of it.
I want to go. I don't even really have to know the guy. I just be the guy. Like, can I go?
Look,
I don't want to die. Like the bonds are strong.
I don't
want to
die either. I want to
this.
live.
It's just that's the problem with the premise. Is this isn't like, you know, he's got four brothers and they're all going to go in. Like, you do that, you sell me. When it's like, yeah, we all work together.
It's not going to happen.
That's not selling me at all.
There's some people that I have, well, like you guys, I met through work. I love you guys. I would do a lot of shit for you guys.
Yes.
I am not going to Colombia to rescue you from a fucking drug lord.
Correct.
Like even us
With
Wait,
no
now?
backup.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, us.
Fuck
with
you guys.
No backup.
Yeah, no backup. Like,
With an old guy who scares the shit out of you.
nope,
Yeah.
not doing it. And especially not for 99.9% of the rest of those fucks. This includes all past and present coworkers and all future coworkers.
Yeah. There are some past coworkers where I would go there to be sure I saw when they executed that person.
Yes. That list is way longer than...
And I would be like, dude, are you going to use fire?
Yeah.
Because I would like to watch that part.
What are
I
those
would
things?
petition the government. I would petition the government to not rescue them.
Yeah.
What are those things I'm not supposed to buy because they fund terrorism?
Yeah, let me buy those. Let me buy.
Yeah.
You mean cocaine?
Oh, well,
Yeah.
sure, okay.
Yes.
That's a win-win. you
right?
you can help get the person you want to die.
Yeah.
Get a bunch of cocaine.
Yeah. But anyway, they don't have the money. That's the problem. They don't have the money to hire Robert Duvall, and they don't have the money to get there.
Mm-hmm. Enter Smiling Jack.
Yep.
Yeah.
Smiling Jack, Gary Busey,
Uh-huh.
who is the local car dealer.
We were introduced to him via television, and then he gives some pseudo sympathies in a bar when they're all kind of moping.
Yeah.
Buys them around or something. But
Well, yeah, and he's just like, man, Harry, good guy.
yeah. Well, man, back in the day,
Yeah.
they would have sent in a platoon by now. It's just not right. And
Yeah. You need help, let me know. So they're like, hey, remember that you need help, let me know thing? Well, we're here at your car dealership, and we would like some help.
yeah, and they honey pot him somehow or something. I don't. There's no lady involved. I mean, they back him into like this dumb corner of like, they're like, we need about $40,000 to borrow to get this done, and he's just like, ooh, 40,000, that's a lot. Ooh,
Yeah.
and he's got all his taxidermied animals on his wall from like exotic animals, not just like deer and shit. But yeah, they're like, oh, you get all these yourself. And,
Glenn Fry gets him to brag about all of them.
Yeah, and they basically embarrass him because he's spent all this money going on these exotic hunting trips and getting all of these taxidermied. And he's like, oh, yeah, I see your point. I can spend all this money here, but I won't spend it on the world's sexiest man, Dan Harmon's dad.
Yeah. But there's a stipulation. He's like, all right, I'll give you guys money, but I'm not paying for a hunt. I'm not going on. So they're like, all right, so we got to take Busey. So
wild card bitches.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, the best decision this movie could have made was making sure that Gary Busey went along.
Well, also, he's like the only one actually trained in firearms who actually knows how to fire them or do anything with them. So it's probably for the best that he came along.
Yes.
Yeah. But then they have to convince Rick Rossovich that he's got to come along, which they do. It's kind of like you're never shown like you. It's presented. You're watching the guys in the car watching Glenn Fry convince him, or no, you're watching Biff Tannen convince him to come along.
Sure,
but either way, like you don't hear what he says, you don't hear how he does it. But
he just turns around and gives the thumbs up, like,
he's in. And then you see him, and then you see him apologize to his wife, and you're like, "Oh, he's so fucking dead."
I've got the Norman Rockwell like vignette of the picture when he's just like him and his wife, and she's just like, "What? Yeah. You're going to Colombia?"
Yeah, and it's like in front of the Christmas tree. It's all of it. It's
like, bring me some cocaine, I guess, and chocolate, and coffee.
Bring me some of that sweet, sweet yayo. But yeah, so he's in, and so they're going. And they get down there, and it moves pretty quick because they're like, "All right, here's where we're hitching a ride on a drug smuggling plane." And Duvall talks him into letting him on, and Harlow noticed something about the pilot, in that the pilot of this plane has an eye patch, but he's wearing a Mickey Mouse T-shirt. That has an eye patch just like his on Mickey Mouse, and you actually had to rewind it because you're like, you guys missed that. We're like, what was it? What are you talking about?
I only caught it like the very last second. I was not paying attention to his shirt. I think what made me pay attention to the shirt was just the fact that like it wasn't doing. What was manifesting in my brain was that here was our welcome to Columbia moment, and here we have Robert Duvall wearing this world's ill-fittingest New York Yankees cap, talking to a guy in a Mickey Mouse T-shirt, and I'm just like, welcome to not America, folks. Right. And that's why I glanced down at his shirt and was like, oh, hey, it's got an eye patch too.
Yeah. I think it's Rick Rossovich again that is like, I don't know about this. Look at all that cocaine. Glenn Fry is definitely into it.
Yeah.
Actually,
he's like, yeah, look at all that cocaine.
Yeah, actually, their first stop in Colombia was like straight to airboats. They started off on airboats. I don't know how they got there, but they were just shown, like Busey's shown chomping on a cigar, which he is in most scenes, while they're just hauling ass in their airboats. But yes, then they get to the drug plane, and he has a problem with getting on the same plane as the cocaine, I guess. I think he's just looking for an excuse to pussy out, basically, the whole time. And this just was like, I'm not, no, that's bad.
Yeah.
But
he's looking for any excuse for them to call it off, really.
So then they get where they're going, and where they're going is to get transportation, I guess.
Yeah. I think they're just flying deeper into country, and then they get to the airstrip where they normally do all of the cocaining.
Yeah.
And they buy a Renault, or a Renault, if you're a civilized person, for 3,000 American dollars. And this is the first of many times that they will buy something in Colombia for 3,000 American dollars.
3,000 seems to be the magic number around there.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Yeah. Do you want a gun? $3,000. Do you want a 1973 Renault?
$3,000. You want to buy off a local dude? $3,000. Yeah.
But the thing is, like, they go through this whole thing about the car, and then they stuff all 6 of them in the car, and then they see Jeeps coming that are like, have military dudes in them.
Yeah. They call them the military police, or I guess, it's like the Federales for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know what Columbia's version of that is. But.
It's just a really weird.
Neither do the filmmakers.
It's a really weird chase scene because the guy in the plane's like, "All right, adios, muchachos," and takes off, and they like do all this to get the car started, and then they take off like literally 30 yards in front of the MPs.
Yeah.
You know, the whoever they are, the federales, and then they're just like, "Oh well," and then they have to dump all the guns that they've brought because he's like, "They'll kill us if we have these." So it's not like they're not going to see them toss these bags out of the car. It's a lot of.
Well, it's also convoluted because like the plane has gone down to the end of the runway, turned around to taxi to come off to take off the other way, so that they have this momentary thing where the car and the plane are coming towards each other.
Well, the plane had to take off into a headwind for reasons.
Sure.
Because of all the cocaine, like
yeah. But yeah, they drive. So after they dump the guns, they drive another 100 yards, and they run into like the river or something.
Yeah.
They don't drive into the river, but
but they have to stop.
They have to stop because they're cornered, and Robert Duvall gets out to talk to the federales.
This is the one thing that doesn't cost $3,000. This only costs $100.
Right.
Yeah.
And a punch in the face.
Yeah. So he basically bribes the guy, like,
and
it's actually, as bribe scenes go, this one's like a little bit cooler and more subtle than just like trying to palm the guy $100. He tucks it like in his waistband, and then kind of is gesturing vaguely in the direction of it.
Yeah.
And the federale hits him and takes the money. He's like, "All right, you guys can fuck off now." So they begin to fuck off, and then the federales are like, "Aha! But wait, there's more," and they shoot all their tires out.
Yeah.
Well, just half of them, but enough.
Was it half of them?
Yeah,
Okay, I thought it
just
was all
the front
of them.
ones or whatever. So this is probably as good a time as any to point out a weird thing about this movie. There's plenty of weird things, but it's not. Maybe I'm only speaking for myself. Like, I always liken it to, like, I think you have some inherent knowledge of like your neighboring country's language. Like England probably speaks a little bit of French just because of the vicinity and whatnot, and I feel like most people in America probably have just a smattering of Spanish thanks to Mexico. You know,
a little bit of Canadian.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So that's what it was. Boot. But like this movie has very sporadic subtitles. Like, in fact, I really feel like there's only
like
one
scene.
one section that it has subtitles at all, and so sometimes it's just you can get it through context clues. Some of it's not very difficult Spanish what they're saying, but it's a little weird because it will be some fairly long stretches where it's like, I'm getting this, but like, is everyone else that? Like,
I guess I feel like you're supposed to be experiencing the scene like these Illinois guys are, where they know something's going on, but they don't know what exactly they're saying, because the only scene that's subtitled is the only one they don't appear in.
Right.
It is when the drug guy checks in on his lab, and
possible,
there's nobody, there's no English speakers in that scene.
It's possible that it was a dramatic choice to do it that way.
I mean, usually that's how it works. Is when you want people a little disoriented, you don't subtitle it. But it's also kind of annoying because it's like usually they don't go for a long time.
Yeah.
And these seem to go that little bit longer than you'd think.
Yeah.
Right.
With the back and forth.
Yeah, you keep waiting for it to like zoom in on one of their mouths and then pull back and they're speaking English now, but it never happens.
They do switch to English mid scene during the bribe scene for some reason.
He asks him if he speaks English, and I think it's because Robert Duvall wants the guys in the car to hear it. Mm-hmm. That's my guess. Yeah. But also Robert Duvall is speaking pretty decent Spanish. Like, it's for an American, it's pretty good. Mm-hmm. I'll say that.
Yeah. Good old Baconator.
Yeah, it seemed like as good a time as any to point out because this bribery scene goes on for a while. A lot of it in Spanish, and there's plenty of other scenes in primarily in Spanish.
Yeah, basically whenever Robert Duvall has to talk to anybody in Spanish. But anyway, so they have to walk, and then the next scene is them just at the hotel.
Yeah, this is a lot of like, hey, you guys hide out here. I don't know. Again, this is where I'm like wondering what was cut, because it seems like they become suspicious of what Robert Duvall's doing,
Well,
but
he
we
did
never.
just-
I don't blame them because he keeps going, give me $3,000.
Sure.
And I'll come back.
And you better not ask too many questions. But less questions you ask, the better.
Yeah.
Not really. Better not ask any questions. A little more. It's a little more
Yeah.
direct and like, hey, I'm clearly stealing from you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but they would just immediately like try to follow him and then get accosted by Tufts, which is just a moment to show that Robert Duvall can take down like 4 dudes with pipes.
Yeah, and it doesn't look great from an action movie fight standpoint.
No.
I mean, it's also
It's definitely edited around him not
Yeah.
really being able to do any of that stuff.
yeah, this is not nobody, and like the later like
Yeah.
let's make people who aren't really action people look like they're action people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. That just happens. But yeah, Robert Duvall, like all of that bullshit aside of like stay in the hotel, don't follow me, but you're gonna follow me anyway. He's trying to go to a contact to like, I guess it's a guy he once dealt with, again, just shady stuff, but he's trying to get information about Ocho Bar, which is the main bad guy.
And he's also trying to get weapons.
And weapons, yes.
Yeah, because they ditched him. Why they didn't just pick him back up, who knows? They didn't go that far when they drove.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Don't know.
Yeah, but they have to get more weapons. So, of course, he sets up the deal for $3,000. They go, immediately get busted by the actual police.
Yeah. And then it begins like a long second act chunk where they're in custody. I mean, not forever, but longer than it probably should be.
Yeah.
I just mean it goes for a while. It's like there's an interrogation scene where they've got a taser, which was probably hot shit in 1986.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, not many people had seen it, but they keep tasing Robert Duvall to like tell us who sent you, and he's like, nobody. We're here on our own, and they don't like that answer.
And they torture the brother, or at least it's assumed that they zap him as well, because he's like, no, I set it up. It's my brother, and they're like, quit lying.
Yeah, it's a weird cut because like I don't know. Again, I'm not sure what all was in this movie, and it's hard to say because it's just what seems on the surface is it seems that they're hinting at that the police captain might be homosexual and was going to molest the brother because he's like he refers to as like bring the pretty one in here, and then he gets very leery with him as he's quite. I don't know. I'm just saying it because it's like the second he's like he cops and says the exact same thing. It's like they're being like thrown in a van. It's like, okay, what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they get transported out to an airfield, marched over to a hangar, and then...
Yeah, this is where the not John Aston guy, like the Gomez Adams guy, it's that other guy. He's the CIA or whatever guy.
Matt Clark is the actor's name, but But he's like, I'm from the embassy. I didn't get news of this till this morning, so sorry about that, but you're going back. Don't do this again. What you did was really stupid. You could have died. How about you go back to the U.S.? Plane leaves in 10 minutes. And they're like, yeah, well, what about Harry? They're like, hey, we've been negotiating with them. He should get released within a day or two. Trust me. And so the guys are like, okay, cool. That worked out, didn't it? And then Robert Duvall's just like, they ain't doing shit for them, are they? And then he's just like, he gives him a look, and he's just like, well, have a nice flight. And just kind of leaves.
Yeah.
And then Duvall goes in to meet with the guys, and he's like, they're not fucking doing it. They're not. He's stuck. He's screwed. If we don't save him, nobody's going to save him.
Let's get Harry.
Let's get Harry. Yeah. But nobody ever says let's get Harry.
Not again. They only say it once.
I know. They only say it in the very beginning, and it's very disappointing because it was a good point to have a.
That's when it should have been.
Yeah, I was like, you in?
Yeah.
Let's get Harry. Like drop the hammer on that scene.
Yeah.
And no, they don't. But either way, they're back in, so they're on the plane, and as the plane's taxiing, Duvall pulls a knife out of his belt buckle, and grabs the embassy guy. What did you say?
I was going to say he bought that in Soldier of Fortune magazine.
He
Guaranteed.
1,000% did.
Guns and ammos and belts.
Yeah. Or that Bud K catalog.
Mm-hmm. But he's got the knife to the guy's neck, and then the guards that are in the plane put their guns down. And then the guys just start jumping out the side before it can, get off the runway.
Some good stunts.
It's good
guys
stunting,
falling out of a DC-10.
Other than it's like that this isn't a very large plane. I like that it's played like there is zero connection to the cockpit and what is going on in back there. I just think that weren't there guns shot and stuff, and people are still like diving out, and the plane still never stops.
Yeah, because the first three guys get out, and then Biff Tannen busts his ankle or something, and they're trying to get, and then basically Robert Duvall's trying to get Rick Rossovich out, and he's like, "No, man, no,
I'm going home.
No, this is already gone too far. No," and so then he ends up staying on the plane, and then that's when Robert Duvall jumps out, and that's when the guy starts trying to shoot at him, and Rick Rossovich tackles the guy, the soldier with the gun.
Yeah.
But then the plane just takes off.
Yeah.
The pilot's probably just used to that shit. He's like, whatever.
Yeah.
I fly in and out of Colombia all day.
Yeah. Forget about it, Jake. It's
like
Colombia.
I said, it's just it's played almost like like a runaway train scene. It's like, wouldn't they just stop the plane and be like, get back on here?
It's a missile the size of a regular building.
Yeah. But now they're back on it, and they make their way into the jungle. And that's when Robert Duvall's like, he's patching up Biff Tannen's leg for whatever I guess he just cut himself, because it wasn't like they put a splint on it. They just kind of wrapped it.
He's sewing up his leg, so he must have just cut it.
I feel like, I don't know if he got grazed by a bullet that was like they were shooting, but I mean, what looked like it happened is that the stunt went bad, and the stunt person twisted their ankle really badly falling out of the plane, and they had to then
write that in
or something is what it seemed like happened.
Yeah. But this is the point where they're in the jungle, they're patching them up, and this is kind of like you get your Quint telling the story of the ship thing, where he's just like, yeah, you don't know what's going to happen until it happens, and when you're in the shit,
it's
things
like
go down, and you don't know what's gonna happen, and then the guys, and he's like, you realize you're gonna have to kill some people, are you ready to do this? And then I'm just thinking, now you ask them this. Like, maybe ask them this back in the barn in the United States.
Yeah, that seems like a garage question, like day one.
I'll
help you, but are you?
Yeah, like you are literally going to have to kill other human beings. Are you okay with this? And they're all like, yeah. Well, of course, Busey's like, yeah.
Busey's most dangerous game in here. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'll kill everybody. But, the rest of them...
Is Ice-T going to be there?
The brother's like, I'm going to do what it takes. And Glenn Fry's like, hey, man, is there coke involved? And then,
Yeah.
And Biff Tannen's the only one who's just kind of like, doesn't really say much of anything. But they're like, all right, let's do this. And then he has to teach them gun safety.
He honestly
has to teach them to gun.
Yeah.
They become full-fledged soldiers of fortune based on Robert Duvall giving him the safety precursor to a laser tag match.
Right.
Which is basically what he sits him down, and it's like no live training whatsoever. It's just, here's how you hold the gun,
Yeah, trigger discipline.
And then he says the line that BJ says in our intro, which is like, bullets don't go where you want them to. They go where they're, where you aim. And then he's like, all right, I knight these soldiers, go forth and murder.
It's actually really interesting that he does the whole keep your booger hooks off the bang switch thing, because that, for one, that didn't happen in movies fucking ever, and for two, like, just like normal people didn't know about that.
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
Well, it just shows that he did work with actual gun trainers.
Yeah, like I said, it's just funny that like their entire training is like that little safety course you get before you do laser tag.
Yeah. However, when they actually do start shooting, they were not trained for anything.
No, but they do seem to have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
For the most part. Like, there's some good gun faces.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a guy who ends up with, it's a pair of, I think, mini Uzis.
Yeah.
And he's just fucking triggers down, fun switch engaged, let's go. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, what's great about that? So that's not Matt Dillon. That is John Wooing.
Yeah, but
he's like shown akimbo gunning, and then like 2 seconds later they shoot something that blows up or something, and Glenn Fry actually goes woo, and I'm like, oh, he's wooing too.
Yeah, he's John Wooing and Glenn.
Like,
wooing.
I love that this guy is John Wooing with two Uzis, no less.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Woozies.
Like, shooting a gun with your offhand is really, really, really fucking hard.
Yes.
Like, it's exceptionally hard to do. Not even with accuracy, just to like be able to be in the right direction and to like be able to pull the trigger and still hold on to it with your offhand. Like, people don't. It's like the movies always make it look easy, but it's like,
yes,
you know, this guy just steps up and he's double fisting Uzis, and you're like, no, you, sir.
Yeah, one of those is going.
Yeah,
behind
one
him.
of those immediately sprayed into the ceiling.
Right.
Yeah,
and then killed a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, but just even like a low-powered firearm is like, no, this
it's
is
awkward.
Yeah, it.
I mean,
it's
in
really
your
hard.
Non-dominant hand. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, rant over.
Mini Uzis wouldn't. It's not. That would be much. That'd be like. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, but they would immediately kick up. Either way, yeah.
He did have both mini and mini Uzis.
Because the reason this happens is they go to what I assume is supposed to be a meeting point, and that's when they find the chick from Predator.
Right, and they get ambushed.
And they
Yeah,
get
somehow,
ambushed.
Yeah, somehow Robert Duvall knows she's behind. Like it's sort of like a cave / a man-made thing that's just been overgrown.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she's like behind a pillar or something, and somehow he knows she's there and calls out to her so that she comes out. And then I don't really. This guy's just kind of like, haha, from like out of the jungle.
I think Gary
basically.
Busey spots one of them.
Yeah, it feels
because
like
there's guys up top, and like it's immediately just a complete firefight.
Yeah, I feel like we had that brief moment. It was like, hey, is that the lady from Predator? And it was just like, oh shit, there are guys here now. What happened? Where did they come from? I was reconciling the one thing, and then like next thing I know, it was like there was a firefight happening. There was a firefight.
Yeah. I don't. Does it ever get explained who these guys are?
They do, because one of them pulls a mask off one of them, and it's the police chief from earlier.
Right, it's the police chief.
The creepy police guy from earlier.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, right.
I
So-
don't know why they're back and here, but okay.
But this is where this is the first time any of them have actually fired their guns, and we see obviously that Robert Duvall knows what he's doing because he better know what he's doing.
All right, so I think I'm realizing now that I'm putting together that Ocho Bar hired them in the first place. Like, I feel like, all right, so maybe it's possible that the guy Robert Duvall went to see and gave him the $3,000, and we thought that he set him up because they have this really bizarre, like, it's. I don't want, like, I'm not trying to.
I'm begging for you to wrap this thread.
Huh?
Like, I'm begging for you to like follow this thread and find it. You're doing great. Keep going.
Okay.
I want to know.
I'm confused now.
Yeah.
All right.
But so
it's possible.
So you think Ochabar, the drug dealer, hired the cops?
So I don't remember the guy that they went to that we thought screwed him over by sending him to buy guns, and they got caught by by the actual police or whatever. But so there's a little person there that is like running the gun meet because it's I'm just saying like it's only of note because it's like it just seems like maybe you took like the bonding a little too much, like James bonding, not other kinds of bonding. Just in like this is maybe a little bit too weird of a locale, like that he's got this like old fort and it's a little person and he's got a top hat and, and I don't know, it was a very strange scene, and then suddenly they're surrounded by cops. But I'm saying perhaps it was Ochubar that stepped in and made them get set up there and hired the police or tipped them off, because remember he keeps going to the guy at the radio and he's like, any other news or whatever. So I'm thinking maybe that guy was like communicating with the police and that's why he sent them out. Like, you didn't get them last time, or the embassy or whatever got them out. Go get them again. They're going to be in the jungle. Because there was a brief scene where he pulls Mark Harmon out of and he's like, oh, I've heard that your brother is coming and trying to rescue you, and I have a surprise waiting for him in the jungle or something. I have a surprise waiting for him. Anyway, why he would be pulling the strings of these guys, and why he didn't have like more trained, jungle soldiers than the local police people, I don't know.
It's expensive, man.
Perhaps. Anyway.
Sometimes you just got to buy
the local
off the
police
chief.
only cost $3,000.
Yeah,
So.
it's clear. Yeah, but they get in this whole firefight, and we see that obviously Robert Duvall knows what he's doing. We also see that Gary Busey, for all his bluster, knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah,
immediately.
he can shoot.
Yeah, Glenn Fry, not so much.
No, but he's having a great time.
Oh man, he's like firing from the waist. And just giving gun face. Same with the younger brother. But Biff Tannen has just he's disassociated for a minute there.
Yeah.
Because he is very much like, fuck, this is real, fuck.
Yeah.
Which would probably be my reaction, honestly, if I suddenly ended, like, if I'd been like, yeah, this training was fun, guns are cool, and then, like, when you're actually being shot at by people, yeah, I would probably do the same thing he does, which is just like, fuck me.
I don't know.
How did this happen?
That's how most people
I don't know how if I do the same thing. I mean, I think his instinct was like, I need to escape from this situation, you know, flight or fight. You know, I think he was definitely choosing flight. But his way of leaving the situation was just to stand up from cover and start walking into the middle of where the gun battle was happening.
Yeah.
You would think
he's basically in shock.
I guess
Yeah.
you would think somehow like your brain would have enough like.
Nope.
Leave enough like just like basic direction left in the tank of like opposite from danger. You know?
Yeah, but
not for him.
Definitely not, because what happens is he kind of wanders out. Robert Duvall tackles him, tries to scramble back to cover, and just gets fucking mowed down,
riddled with bullets.
Yeah, there's a lot of goofy, guys suddenly legs fly out, die in the air. This is like shockingly realistic.
Yeah, this is
because he just kind of like sputters a couple times,
like slow motion, like
yeah, like yeah. He just kind of like you see him get shot, you see him sputter a couple times, and then just collapse.
Yeah, pretty much.
And he's straight up dead.
And dedication to acting, he chooses his death pose with like eyes slightly open, so that he has to maintain that for every single take.
Yep,
like the exact same like dead expression. So
yeah, but honestly, like I think we were all shocked. We were like, holy shit, like they just killed him. Right. These guys are fucked. Because he's the only one that spoke Spanish. He was the only one that knew where the fuck they were going, any of it.
But he's the only one who's basically any good at anything.
Yeah. But now he's dead, and they're all just like, we're fucked. We are completely fucked.
They do manage, I think, to kill the rest of the guys, or at least run them off.
Yeah, well, they don't even realize he's dead until the firefight's done.
Then they discover that it's the police captain.
Mm-hmm.
And then
that's when Busey pulls the hood off and says, "Oh shit!"
And then they've captured the girl,
and
so they Busey ties her to a table, and starts yelling at her. He's doing the American in a foreign land. He doesn't speak a lick of Spanish, so he speaks like one phrase of Spanish, which is "Donde está los Americanos," and then proceeds to continue shouting at her in Spanish. And then he decides it's torture time.
Yeah.
The most fun time.
Yeah. And the younger brother's like, the fuck are you doing? No. Yeah. No, we're not doing this. And basically fights Busey and knocks the wind out of him, kind of. Like he's able to like pick him up and just ram him into the wall.
Is Busey supposed to be an old dude in this, or a slightly old dude?
I don't think so.
Is he supposed to be
I think he's supposed to be about the same age they all are, yeah.
Okay.
Like mid-30s probably, because I mean I think that's how old he was then. I don't know Busey's age for sure, but I mean it was still near the beginning of his career because it was early 80s.
Yeah, I wouldn't say like his Buddy Holly thing was like super early 80s or late 70s. It was like when his first thing was.
I don't know. Just Gary Busey always looks older than
he does
everybody else.
But either way, he gets the wind knocked out of him and he's like, all right, fine. Like he's like, I'm not fighting you over this. And so he cuts the girl loose, and he's like, I don't know if you understand me, but I'm sorry. And then starts kind of just ranting to himself, like, we're never going to find my brother. We're in the middle of nowhere. We're never going to get out of here. And that's when she's like, I will help you. Because she understands the English.
She does.
Yep. So she gets him a boat, and they run into another American guy there.
Yeah,
for whatever, like
it seemed like it was going to be like a CIA plan or something. I mean, that's the way they're playing it. Is like somebody's following them, keeping tabs. Yeah, again, you just feel like something bigger is going to drop at any point in this movie.
It's either that or it's just like, hey, this is one of the director's buddies who wanted to get his card, so he needed some lines. Yeah,
But yeah,
that's how the scene plays to me because they're just like, hey, man. And he's like, hey, good to see some other Americans here.
No, we're Canadian. Eh?
And then he's like, all right, well, just be careful out there. And then that's it. Like there's nothing else from that guy.
Nope.
This is definitely a movie that feels like there's a bunch of threads that like the editing changed considerably.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
Yeah, but
Yeah, because there's also like a weird half-assed funeral attempt for Robert Duvall. Like they've just got kind of all his shit sitting on a log.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I
Yeah.
mean, like his
Pretty much.
his combat knife, and like like they take a moment, like look at the pictures that were in his. I mean, there's just like things that never really like what'd you do with the body? Like,
Mm-hmm.
did you actually bury him? Like, it just kind of cuts to like they're just rifling through his shit, and
Yeah.
only really comes in. The only thing that only slightly comes into play is that they've got his Medal of Honor, and it will show up in a very
Weird place.
inconspicuous place later that probably was supposed to mean something but doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. But they take the boat and they basically get into the camp.
Yeah, like she's given the whole like I'm never really sure like did she full on work for the drug guy and she just had a change of heart because he stopped Gary Busey from torturing her. Like I don't really understand what her part in all this is, but she gives him like the whole details of the operation, so she's clearly been there. I think maybe we saw her very briefly earlier, like it might have been a foreshadowing thing. Like I feel like there was a female somewhere in the background. It might have been her. I'm just saying, like when there was other like moving the prisoners from one place to another or something. I just feel like it might have been her in the background. But anywho, they know the layout, so they're doing the little like, all right, I'll be the stick, you be the car, and they're just like laying out like all they're gonna. They're suddenly full on soldiers after their laser tag pep talk.
Yeah,
yeah.
They just somebody had to die to motivate them, so it was Robert.
Thanks,
Duvall.
Robert Duvall.
Yeah, yeah. So they've got a plan. They're blowing up 2 different parts of the camp, but they're also trying to find Harry wherever he's been stored, so to speak. And really, it's just a matter of like, and this is the thing too. Like, Glenn Fry is able to like grab a dude by the head and then just fucking stabs him in the heart. And you're like, dude, you're a plumber. Like, you're a factory line guy. Like, that's some cold-blooded shit.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, like, they're just, like, fucking straight-up murdering dudes. Like,
maybe they all went on the cocaine after that. It's
maybe. Because, I mean, like, Robert Duvall did murder the contact. It was shown later that after he got the information he needed, he's like, oh, well.
Yeah, they went back to the guy that screwed him over the first time, and he had a chat with him. That's where they got the second batch of guns. But yeah, so it's showing that like
there's just a shot later on of that guy laying with his head on the table, eyes open.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, he did. Yep. But yeah, so they're just going through they go through this place murdering dudes, and eventually one guy like they don't kill him quick enough, and he fires his gun, and that gets everyone out, and this just starts a firefight all over the place.
Yeah, not a lot of cohesion in the way it's filmed, or like
it's also at night too,
also,
and like all the huts look the same,
or what people are doing. Like at this point, like we're semi clear on what the good guys are doing, which is like sneak into the watchtower and the drug lab and set up explosions. Yeah. But otherwise, it's just a lot of chaos.
Which one of them does by lighting a cigarette and then putting it between the twine that's holding it up, so that when the cigarette burns down far enough, it'll burn the twine.
Yeah, there's a lantern, like a something that would actually probably create a good fire, other than like the cigarette. And he's got the cigarette.
That's his timer.
Slow burn, yeah. Which that would work. I mean, they put I don't know what they put into cigarettes at some point to stop them from burning on their own, but that was actually like a safety feature they put in so that they burn out on their own a lot faster than they used to.
New Marlboro safety cigarettes.
No, I'm saying, like,
you're not,
back in the 80s, like cigarettes would, like, you could light a cigarette and it would burn all the way to the end without you inhaling.
You like to smoke in bed?
Yeah. So do we.
Try Marlboro Red.
Or Marlboro Dense.
It's silica. They put it on the paper.
Yeah.
There's it's basically sand.
Oh, like titties.
Yes.
Exactly. So but they're just murdering dudes, and they apparently got a lot of magazines to keep popping in these things.
Oh, sure.
Because they go through a lot of them, a whole lot. But I mean, it's just a lot of dudes getting shot, a lot of dudes taking cover, a lot more dudes getting shot. Eventually, they do catch up with the main drug dealer guy has taken Harry and the diplomat, and he's trying to get to the boats. And they're able to and it's Gary Busey and the brother are able to kind of pin him down. Not really pin him down, but they both got guns on him. They're like, dude, hey, give it up. And they end up shooting Gary, and the drug dealer's like, nah, fuck you, and shoots Gary Busey. And then Gary, as he's falling, is able to shoot the guard on one side and then shoot the other guard on the other side before he dies then.
Yeah.
And it's like, ah, the two best guys are dead now. But this gives the brother enough time to tackle everyone.
Well, Mark Harmon grabs the gun and you know, so gets it off himself, and so it starts a struggle there.
Yeah, and the brother, to his credit, doesn't try to one-shot the drug dealer. He tackles them both into.
He gives them the spear. Yeah, it's Goldberg with the spear, right off the dock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, they all end up in the water. Mark Harmon, Dan Harmon's sexy dad, is able to climb out onto the dock, even though he's got his hands bound. And then the brother and the drug dealer are just struggling in the water. The brother's got a big old knife. I don't know where he even got the knife, but he's trying to stab him.
That was probably Robert Duvall's knife. It was on his
okay.
funeral pile.
Yeah,
it's not a pyre. It's
he's putting it to good use because he's trying to stab him in the water, and then they eventually both go under, and then Mark Harmon's like, Corey, where are you? And
then it's Schrodinger stabbing.
Yeah, and
they're both equally stabbed. And
yep, and you see a hand come out of the water, and then it's the drug dealer pulling himself up. However, he tilts his head down a little, and you see the knife sticking out of his back, and then he collapses, and then the brother comes up out of the water, and hooray, he's saved. Yeah, and so now they got to get the fuck out of there. Problem is, Biff Tannen has gotten himself pinned down and is out of bullets.
Well,
so he's kind of screwed. Because Glenn Frey, there was a whole thing with Glenn Frey where the place he was blowing up happened to be the place that was chock full of coke, just bundles and bundles of coke, and we're just like, oh, yeah, Glenn Frey's eating well tonight. But no, he does not.
He does not partake.
He stays focused. He defeats his demons.
He did grab 2 bags and set them aside. I posit that he had those on his person when they left.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He specifically he takes 2 the kilo bags and sets them aside, and then he starts stabbing all the buckets of flammable liquids.
Yep. Hey, it was the freshest stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hadn't been split open yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but either way, he lets himself blow up that whole facility.
I think he let himself blow too. I mean, so
Yep. Yeah, because he gets to the dock and they're like, "Dude, where's Biff Tannen?" And they're like, "Oh fuck, we got to go back and get Biff." So Biff has killed a whole bunch of dudes. Like he just keeps popping around the corner with his little Uzi and just takes out groups of them. Mm-hmm. And then eventually he pops around the corner and goes click, click, and he knows he's fucked. But he's not, because they run around the corner and gun down all the dudes.
Oh, it's because he prayed for death. I mean, he literally did, because he did the stations, and then 2 seconds later, it's like, here they come, the cavalry.
Yep. But they so they get him to the dock, and they all hop on the boat. And this is what was weird, which I saw it, and Harlow pointed out just a second later.
Yeah, at the end of the dock, they have jammed Robert Duvall's Medal of Honor to the end pole piling, whatever, and right next to the pile of stuff that's about to blow it up. So I guess they're because his whole Quint story was basically I got this Medal of Honor because I was in Nam or Laos, or maybe if they was in Laos, they were somewhere we weren't supposed to be. But whatever. Anyway, yeah. Oh, it's a big shocker. Anyway, but yeah, just saying it was we pulled out too soon, and I got 3 or 4 people killed or something like that because we didn't just hold our ground long enough.
Yeah, they were the guys I couldn't save. I see their faces every night. Yeah. All that sort of stuff.
The usual.
So maybe it was a Viking funeral mission accomplished sort of thing. I don't know.
It feels weird that it's suddenly there and there's no acknowledgement of it.
Nope.
But it's very prominently in the shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should probably mention this is on Amazon Prime should you want to watch it, and it's a pretty. I mean, it's a very good copy. There are certain scenes that it's lesser quality, but for the most part,
very grainy. Yeah, but still.
a very sharp copy of this movie.
Yeah, yeah. But they take off from the dock, and Glenn Fry's able to shoot the gas can that's there, blows up the dock.
Yep.
Next thing you know, they're all back in Illinois.
Yeah, it fades to black as soon as they drive away, basically, in the boat, and then fades back up to Aurora, Illinois, the steam fitters pipe and valve manufactory joint, and there's polka music going on. And
well, first we get the factory floor, like they
oh,
PA,
that's right.
they
Yeah,
PA announce it of like
Harry has been rescued.
Yeah, Harry Burke or Harry Burka, whatever. I don't know what is this.
Burke.
Harry Burke.
Harry Burke. Okay. Yeah. Harry Merkin. I don't know.
Yep.
But yeah, so they're like, so everyone in the factory is like, woo, and hugs and stuff, and then cut to their celebratory party is a oompa band, and the Elks Lodge is coming out in full force,
and the dad acknowledges the younger son. He's like, okay, I
yeah.
actually do have a son now.
Yeah.
Right.
I have 2 sons. My 2 sons.
Yeah. And Rick Rossovich is there, and he's kind of giving him a look like, yeah, man, glad you're alive. Leave me out of it. And they eventually, go over. They're like, oh, come here, everybody.
Yeah.
Well, Mark Harmon, World's Sexiest Man, extended the olive branch first.
Yeah.
He was like, I think if he was like
Dan Harmon's sexiest dad in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Dan Harmon's sexy dad was how he was described.
Yes.
World's sexiest man, Dan Harmon's dad.
Yeah. But they are all like, everything's great. Harry's still alive. Gary Busey, we were really friends with him anyway.
Yeah, well, nobody...
Same with Robert Duvall.
Okay, so that's the weird thing is Gary Busey is not mentioned for the rest of the film.
No.
But no surprise that Robert Duvall isn't, because he was just some creepy dude that showed up, right?
You didn't know what they say about life. Chevrolet. He was a Chevrolet dealer. Yeah,
I got that.
It's not exactly Chez La Vie, but
It was close enough.
And then that thing where all the words go on the screen.
Credits.
Yeah, that one. That happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the movie's over, and then we do the ratings.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess
as you pointed out, this is the music was done by the same person who did the iconic music for Terminator 1. I guess
and 2.
And 2?
Yes.
I was going to say the music really ramps up in 2
Brad
more
Fiedel.
so than 1. I mean,
but Brad Fiedel did them both.
Felt like he ran a temp track on this one.
Yeah, it's very odd.
Yeah.
As you pointed out, having a musical guy like Glenn Fry in here and then just having a soundtrack that's kind of...
Yeah, I'm not saying I do not adore the music of the Eagles, but I mean, it always annoys me when
You'd think there might be a rock song in here somewhere.
I feel like there was I think there was a Glenn Fry song at one point in the bar in a scene that he was featured prominently in. If it wasn't, it was somebody trying to be 80s Glenn Fry, like the Heat Is On style song, but it wasn't. I don't know, but I didn't care enough to Shazam it or whatever. But yeah, no, it's just like whenever you have a musical person in a movie like this, and the soundtrack is like doopy 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 doopy, it's like, did you not think to ask?
Can you put some effort into it?
It's like if you fed 80s action movies into some sort of AI music generator and said, okay, now spit me out an acceptable 80s action movie soundtrack.
Yeah, but this felt this felt like if the algorithm was like action movie but with a tinge of drama, because I feel like a good 80s action movie would have a lot more drums and like snare drums, like like military style stuff. This was a lot like
good enough.
This was like, I don't know, Harry's in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, Harry's in trouble. Oh, no.
Anyway, I guess we should give ratings.
Sure.
I'll go ahead and go.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like you want to go.
Well, I mean, I just, this is a tough one. And it's weird because I feel like I've been on this kick for a while where it's just like, is this a one bag or one jocks? Where it's just like, and I gotta go with one bag. I mean, like, despite even Busey being fun Busey, this movie's just too discombobulated to be much fun.
It's really slow.
It's really slow, and like that. I mean, I understand like the by the book. I'm not gonna quote like How to Write a Screenplay or Joseph Campbell bullshit like that. I'm just saying like that, like this moment is coming, like when they get picked up by the police in the second act, and then but still it doesn't heighten anything. It sucks the fucking wind out of the movie. And that's like, like when you have that extra bit of tension or whatever, it's supposed to like ramp it up.
I think the issue is like things are rendered time wasters. Like the car thing.
Oh, for sure.
They shoot the tires out, and it's like, well, that was a waste of time. Everything with them getting arrested, they're like, oh, you're on a plane going back. It's like that was a waste of time, because you still end up in the same place.
Right.
You've just wasted all this time getting there.
And there's no triumph over adversity. It's just adversity happens, and then the next scene they're just over it.
Yeah.
Like in some other movie, when they have to walk from the airfield, there would be strife there, and there would be a chance for them to overcome something.
Yeah.
But they don't. They just walk back to the town, and all of a sudden they're back on track, finding another guy. Every time they get into trouble, it's not really a hindrance. Like even when Robert
a Harry hindrance.
Harry and the hindrance. Okay. That hang on.
I'm gonna have to put that on a Photoshop file now.
You have two options to choose from.
Yeah.
But like, even when Robert Duvall goes down, that doesn't really get in their way. They just kind of plod along, and they manage to rescue their brother anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really feels like, like they asked for like no onions on their hamburger, and they got onions in the hamburger, and they're just like, oh damn it. Anyway, just pick those off. And
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
It's just like, like they have this momentary of like, damn it. Anyway,
like, why does McDonald's dice them?
God,
It's so hard to get them off.
But then they manage to just like scrape them all off
Yeah.
with one swipe of the plastic knife.
Yep.
Yeah.
or they just realized
One
they
swipe of the plastic
really
knife.
didn't mind onions all along.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one bag's.
Yeah,
you.
just like I said, it's just like even with the Buseyisms, like I mean, and he is doing some better than like we've watched other Busey movies looking for some of the energy that Busey brings to this movie and not getting it. It's just it's surrounded by bleh, for the most part. Like he has one very it's it's a scene I only wanted to mention it only because it harkens so much to a modern movie that people will relate to more. That I was like, wow, there is a scene. It's when they're going into, and they're trying to be stealthy, and they're going into whatever 8 bathrooms. Was it Octobara or Octobar? Yeah. At first, I thought they said his name was Banyo or something like that.
Ochavar.
Yeah, Ochavar. But yeah. Anyway, because like Busey has a blowgun and like and snipes this one dude and he's like when he does it and it works, that it was like this whole like sequence was very reminiscent of the Suicide Squad, not Suicide Squad with the on far onto the on the nose soundtrack. But yeah, there's a scene where like it's very similar where like they're just showing off like their cool ways to kill people as they're entering a camp but while staying stealthy. And it doesn't go on as long. It's just like when this was happening I was like, man, like did they, every time I see something like this, I'm like, did they pull inspiration from this, even perhaps unbeknownst to them?
Yeah, because I love that he explains the blow dart. He's like, yeah, you just put poison on the end. It's the deadliest stuff on earth. If you pull it off, it's pretty awesome. And then he just gets the guy, it's like right in the neck.
He just like, don't breathe in, though.
Yeah. But he gets that guy in the neck. He's like, yeah. He doesn't do that, but he just gives that little.
Yeah, it's like a, yeah. I did that.
You all know with the Gary Busey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just saying, like there are things like that in this movie that we've looked for in other Gary Busey movies that's not there. It's just everything that's not involving Gary Busey is kind of a slog.
Yeah.
Gary Busey should have been the mercenary. Just let him drive this fucking train into the ground.
I don't know, because Robert Duvall is so awesome in this.
Yeah, Robert Duvall's
really
good,
like him,
but it's kind of wasted.
Yeah, it is kind of wasted, but he's basically just doing Robert Duvall stuff. But for some reason, it all seems like an elevated level of coolness that it wouldn't have been for whatever reason.
Yeah, but again, it's wasted. I feel like in this movie, like for one, how did they get Robert Duvall for this? But for two, why? You could have gotten anybody else, and like, okay, it wouldn't have given this movie gravitas, but it's squandered anyway. That's why this is a one bags movie. It doesn't, like, for one, wasted energy. For two, like, this should be a Busey vehicle. For three, reshot for world's sexiest dad, Mark Harmon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we didn't even get into that. That seems to be why the director left, was because they forced a bunch of reshoots that had Mark Harmon in them.
Yeah, and like, yes, he's very pretty, but also, who gives a shit? Like his, and that's kind of how I feel about this movie. Is who gives a shit? It's a fairly reasonably well done. Like all the shots are shot pretty well. We don't have any complaints like that. It's not. It doesn't sound like shit in general. There's some
not great Foley.
There's some flubs with the Foley, but like
there's some really bad Foley in this. It's weird.
But overall, it is technically well done.
Mm-hmm.
It's just boring. Like, it doesn't do anything outstanding. It's a one bags for me.
Yeah, I think I'm the most positive on this, and I'm only going one jocks for Busey and a lot of the shooting for Duvall as well. But yeah, it's just I hate movies where the setups are rendered meaningless minutes later. Like Bond, World Is Not Enough should be awesome, but that movie is full of setups that are just like 5 minutes later. It's like, it doesn't matter. We're moving on. Mm-hmm. And it's like, don't waste my fucking time. Like, make it mean something. Yeah. And there's too many setups in here that just end up meaning nothing.
This, I mean, it's just hearkening to like my exact thoughts on like only putting this into words about this movie makes me think like that is kind of my problem with The Creator, that new movie, because it's like, like I said, that whole movie is just like, hey, new people, what's going on over here? Oh, you're all dead already. Anyway, go over here. Yeah. Oh, new people, what's going on? Oh, you're all dead. Anyway, moving over here. Yeah. It's just like it's a lot of setup to just be like, well, moving on.
Like, I mean, I just hate movies that feel like they're full of filler, and that's what it is. It's padding it out for whatever reason, and I do wonder, what if the reshoots were just, we need more Mark Harmon.
It's probably all those cutaways that keep going back to like him in the cage and like trying to escape, and I'm sure that scene of them in the stream where he's like, semi-glistening with stream.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that was probably definitely a
he wasn't even dirty yet in that. They're just like, check out sexy father to Dan Harmon here.
Sexy father to television's Dan Harmon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, I still had some fun with it, but it is definitely low down on our list of, especially Busey. Just be like, there's like, even though Eye of the Tiger, we feel like Busey wasn't giving us what we wanted, I'd still rather watch that than this. Because there's some crazy shit in Eye of the Tiger.
And that's, like I keep saying, there's not much that's really interesting about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I still love the setup. I just think like, you remake this where it's like, okay, he's got 4 brothers. Yeah. Because you need more of that bond with all of them.
And they're all named Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understood that.
Okay.
Yeah. But either way, like you give them a stronger tie to him. You don't waste their time with stuff that once they get there, they're just doing pointless shit. Yeah. Like and you just find somebody, man, I don't even know who I'd go with to do the Robert Duvall role. But you need somebody who can really
like now we're casting this a remake.
Yeah,
now?
If we were to remake this right now, I think it would work because I love the idea of it that like, hey man, the government, nobody's going to save him but us. And it's like, all right, let's do this.
Somebody like 40 years old and grizzled because he's got to be special forces from the Iraq War.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I don't know what I didn't, only because of his association with the bigger movies, and I think everyone associating him with that. I would say the guy that was in Avatar, that
oh
dude.
Yeah,
but like I think everyone
Jake
like,
Sully?
that's the
no
the
bad guy.
Yeah, the bad
guy.
the
bad guy. Oh, he'd be good.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like I think everyone would be
dude
like,
from Don't Speak.
Yeah, the guy. It'd be like, that's the guy from Avatar. But also, I don't know how old he is.
Or Don't Breathe. Sorry.
I think it'd be okay. You give him some hair.
He's been in a BMFcast movie. I just can't remember his name. We watched something with him in the 80s.
Yeah, I know.
Band of the Hand.
Okay.
Now I can't
You guys
remember that.
remember that.
Oh,
But
it's Steven
yeah,
something, right?
and then
yeah,
like
it's
God damn it! Now I got to look up Band of the Hand. I love that I went to that Stephen Lang.
Lang.
Yeah.
Damn it, it's coming to me too.
Yep. But I don't know. I think he's just that little bit too old.
Yeah, perhaps.
For what you
maybe,
want.
but then you get like whoever is playing the world's sexiest dad part. He was like, he's captured by terrorists while he's working out there. He takes a lucrative but dangerous job to pay for their mom's cancer treatment because all those guys just work in a factory and they can't afford, that. Give us some more stakes and shit.
I mean,
and make sure they're fucking ripped
I
dudes.
think there's a way to make this one work.
Am I wrong in thinking that this is basically the same plot as the Dirty Dozen? I mean, isn't that kind of what that is? Like
Somewhat,
we're
yes.
gonna go off the books and go get our friend. I mean, isn't
Yeah,
that like,
I mean,
there's a
somewhat,
lot of
but-
movies.
well,
that
yeah.
are
I just mean
kinda
like, I mean,
that, but-
I feel like it's a shortcut just to make it military guys because like, like they're trained and
Nah, make it not. You gotta
yeah, you like
got a little fish out of water.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like City Slickers meets mercenaries. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you gotta have your Robert Duvall character.
Okay.
Give them a little crash course, and they have to bumble it a little bit so that
Oh
they
man,
fail.
what if it had just been Jack Palance, the Robert Duvall character?
In this movie?
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. Like I just said,
Or
City
now.
Slickers, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Jack Palance back in the day, like
Yeah.
instead
Jack
of making
Palance
City
would've been
Slickers, he
fucking
was
great.
making a
Or his twin brother.
sure, right.
Because you just want to have the same guy back, even though you killed him off. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all right. It's not great.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a movie. You can watch it, but generally, we're not really recommending that you do.
Yeah, and if you've already paid for Prime, you can watch it for free.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well,
Speaking of things that aren't free,
oh,
patreon.com/BMFcast.
Oh, Patreon. Oh, you wanted me to go to Patreon first. Okay. All right. Fine.
I mean,
Well, I'll
it's
do-
not free
I
just by
wanted
its
to-
very nature.
I just found a segue.
I wanted
and
to
nobody
talk
else
about.
picked it up.
I wanted to talk about the free things available to BMFcast listeners.
You can do that
which
as
is
well.
Emailing us, calling us on the telephone, 9105-JUX-BMF or 910-556-9263. Visiting the website, which is bmfcast.com. Checking out the Discord, which you can find through various nefarious means.
If you want an invite, just email us.
You can email us
BMF
directly. Or
BMFcast.com.
tweet at us,
but
perhaps.
No, because I don't think any of us are checking the Twitter.
I get notifications on the phone,
okay.
so you can tweet
Well.
at me, and I will give you an invite.
Way to stick with it, friend.
but I do believe they say the best things in life aren't free.
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are at patreon.com/BMFcast, where you can get your fill of a bunch of podcasts that we've started and stopped. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of like BMFcast extra. There's like 200 of those, something like that. There's a crazy amount. It's worth a few dollars a month, and it helps us pay for the servers and all that shit. So, yeah, we appreciate it. I know we've said this a bunch, but you guys keep the servers on for us to keep serving you all of this hot BMFcast action directly into your ear holes. And so patrons, we salute thee.
Yep.
And if you don't have the money to give us directly, give us some spiritual money by telling your friends to listen to the BMFcast.
Social currency.
Yeah,
Spend some of that.
just like China. Social credit.
Yeah, pay it forward or something.
Right.
Eat,
With
pray,
Haley Joel
listen.
Osment.
Eat,
Anyway,
press play,
Yeah.
share with your friends.
let's get out of here, shall we?
Okay.
Let's.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ, and this is BMFcast out. We'll talk to you guys in the new year.
Guten Nacht.
I mean, even though I'm stopping the card like right now, but I don't know what the point of an end clap is.
Just so Boston has something to, reference if he wants.
Thank you for the juice. sir.
You're welcome. I would give you juice anytime I had juice available. And I mean that in the most homoerotic way.
I'm glad to hear that.
Good. I don't want anybody to get any ideas that I'm not being really weird about it. Didn't these used to have a little wrap thing so you could...
Yeah, on one end.
Yeah, the little
they have,
wings
like,
that
little-
flipped
Yeah,
out.
little winks.
Yeah. But apparently it put stress on the cord, so they stopped doing it.
Your mom put stress on the cord.
I mean, I guess I guess you don't really need it as much when the cord is now separate. I mean, used to be because it was all one thing.
Fair. You barely even get a cord. God damn it. The way this world's going to shit. Don't get a fucking shit anymore. I cannot believe that they don't give you charging bricks with phones anymore.
It's pretty shitty.
Like, that's going to be my old man rant until I'm, like, dead, is you pay $1,000 for a goddamn phone and they won't give you a $20 power brick. Pieces of shit! And that's every phone manufacturer out there. Except for probably, like, I don't know. There's probably
so
some,
even
some
Apple stopped giving that little tiny thing, that little tiny plug that was in iPhones?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't get a single fucking
I mean,
thing
I haven't
anymore.
gotten a new iPhone in a while, so I don't know.
Yeah. I bought
Do they give you a cord even? I think they do give you a cord. They just don't give you a charger.
Yeah, you get a cord.
Outlet.
I'm just saying, it was never like a fancy one with them. It was like...
No, you got the small one, but
Yeah.
You don't get a single one anymore. Nobody does. It's so stupid.
It's fucking trash.
I've like literally, they have not artificially slowed down my phone yet. So I mean, I have not had any problem.
I
with
think
my
they are
phone.
legally prohibited from artificially slowing down your phone now.
Okay,
I've found my battery life has gotten a lot lower.
my phone is
just
perfectly fine. I have zero complaints with my phone.
Man,
That's good. You should keep
Yeah.
your phone for a long time and not pay them $1,000 every 2 years.
yeah, I think I'm on year 3 with this one. I'm trying to remember now. I lost track. I don't even know what version it
battery
is.
health? Yeah, battery health. My maximum capacity is at 86%. So
That's
yes,
not bad.
I'm not getting the full whatever.
Yeah, they also used to give earbuds with the new phones. I got earbuds with the phone before this one, but I haven't gotten a new
So weird. That for a while
charging brick with
Yeah.
any of the last 2 phones.
For a while there, they required like some sort of wired headphones be in the box because of like hands-free driving. Like that was like it was legally required that they provide at least some sort of headset in the box for a while. I don't know when that stopped, but yeah, because I just remember like I don't remember which brand phone I got, but I got like the shittiest skull candy fucking piece of shit headphones ever. Like I mean, they were just like I was like these. I mean, I've gotten free headphones that sounded better than this.
This one just came with like a 3-foot cable and the phone in the fucking box. I was pissed because they charged like I don't know, like $30 for the fast charger. Google does, and then they don't have wired headphones anymore that you can buy. I don't think, but the Pixel Buds, the earpods or AirPods, whatever equivalent, are like $150, something like that. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Fuck off.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely fucking not.
Don't get me wrong.
Welcome to Old Man Hour.
I mean, I like wireless headphones are some of the best things ever, like earbuds and whatnot. I don't get like why we haven't done that better. Like, I mean, I feel like we should already be like to the point that like we have implantable ones that charge off your body heat or some shit. You know, I'm just saying.
Nope.
Like,
No, thank you.
That's some Elon shit right there. I don't need it.
Well, yeah, I don't
I
want.
understand where you're coming from, but no.
Okay.
But I just wish my battery lasted longer. That's the big thing with my AirPods. Is like, man, it's already doing the doop doodle doop.
What is the doop doodle doop?
That means your battery's like
It makes
10% or less.
noise in whichever ear is going low.
But I also use
know that
noise
'cause
cancellation a lot.
I only know that because I had the pair I had, the one ear's battery would only last
Wore
like
out
5
faster,
minutes. Yeah, it would only last like 5 minutes, and the other one was perfectly fine. So yeah, it was like only in the one ear I get the boop boop boop. It was getting close to dying.
All right,
And
I'm
you
gonna
can't
need
buy
to
them-
get out of here.
Can't buy them Jokers separate, right?
I don't think so.
What, like
I mean, I think you
one
can.
bud?
I think you can like.
Yeah.
I think you can say like do something where you can get
Send it
like,
back into
yeah,
Apple
or
and
like
have 'em-
you know like I lost one. You know, I think they have like ways to get replacement secondary.
Yeah. I want some actual real people to tell me whether Raycons are worth a shit or not. And I know like Ray J sucks ass, but I keep having them advertised to me, and I just want to know.
What are Raycons?
They're the ones that get advertised on every fucking
podcast
YouTube
or
video or
YouTube, yeah.
podcast that you've ever heard in your entire life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like I need to,
I have never.
like I need to know. Like I need to know someone who's worn a pair of Vessies. Are they?
What are Vessies?
Oh, I guess that's what I.
Is it another?
It's a shoe. No, it's a shoe.
Oh, it's a shoe.
Like it's advertised on.
Kyle, the Raycons are okay. They're extremely okay. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Extremely okay. That's not good enough for me. I'm not buying them.
Now,
Fuck them.
I'm trying to remember which channel I watched that they advertised. Now we're giving free advertising because shit, secondhand talking about them. But no,
Well, then let's not talk
no,
about them.
just
Let's
like
say.
they're like some weatherproof shoes or some shit. Like I mean, it's like you can.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I know which ones you're talking about. Yeah.
All right.
Hello to Shannon and Hula. We didn't say hello to them.
Hey,
so
everybody.
we're saying hello now before we
Yep.
walk out the door.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah. He's got to go.
Bye.
Dan Harmon's sexy, sexy dad's friend, Mackie.
Hi everybody.
Nor Dan Harmon.
Angie. I didn't actually look up to see.